Welcome to the 5.2 version review. We got a good amount of stuff to look at, but there isn't a ton of detail, so expect this video to be pretty quick, as you can see. So why don't we immediately begin, huh? Our conquest took a bit of a break, but we got an interlude, which was okay. It filled in the time, and honestly, I won't really be taking it into account for the overall Our Conquest rating, let's say. It was harmless, and it was there just as we wait for 5.3. It did its job of filling time in. Good. We did get a new area to explore, and honestly, I got so absolutely bored of exploring the new area, and I can very much tell you why that is, because I paid very big attention to it. There isn't, and I repeat, there isn't a single one elemental puzzle in this area. I'm not joking, I paid full attention to make sure that was the case, because it also was the case in the first area of Natlan. The entire base of this freaking game is non-existent in these areas. It's all shitty Saurian and Phlogiston, not a single pyro puzzle. How is this happening? Have they run out of ideas? Literally nothing in Natlan interacts with pyro. How did we go from the mushrooms and the vine-covered rocks in Sumeru that interacted with 3 elements, or the hydro vases in Fontaine that needed hydro to power up, to this bullshit? The entire time you're exploring Natlan, you're either switching from Saurian to Saurian, or, of course, using Natlan characters because we can't figure out a good way to sell them, I guess, except for this exploration bullshit and power creep in combat. You seriously don't use your characters for anything outside of combat while exploring. All of the puzzles are just glorified interact buttons with extra steps. And the problem is that these could exist in any game. They are interact buttons. You don't need special mechanics in your game to have them in. So again, Natlan is empty of what makes Genshin exploration Genshin exploration. And honestly, visually, I wasn't interested in anything except for the area that is unlocked by the Ochka Natlan World Quest. Like, I got extremely bored exploring because, again, I'm not using my characters. I'm switching to the shitty Saurians that move extremely slow, or the bird that immediately runs out of Phlogiston and bullshit. And, like, it was so boring. And again, they're just interact buttons. You could put them in any game and they would work. But take all of the elemental puzzles that we have in previous areas, and you can't put them in any game because you need the Genshin mechanics. Heck, there's no Pyrograna even. You know the thing that we introduced within Azuma? Nope, nothing at all. Nothing with Pyrograna or whatnot. Like, nothing interacts with Pyro. Nothing interacts with any element in this fucking area. And so it becomes extremely boring because it's not Genshin exploration. But oh no, you gotta pull for the Natlan characters to use them instead of the Sonic. Go fuck yourselves. Genuinely. You can see how they're just begging for any way to sell characters. That isn't anything creative, honestly. So, on to events. The main event was... honestly, I mean, not much in terms of story, but I simply hate Kitlali, or Stolali, as they call her in Japanese, to the core. I loathe her design, and her character is just Faruzan done extremely wrong and bad. She could have been Faruzan 2.0 and everything would be fine, but they decided to just destroy her character. And it doesn't help that she drags Ororon down alongside her when she appears. Ororon by himself? Perfectly fine. When she's on the scene as well, goddammit, he is garbage. And as for minigames, there was a basic combat one, a use shapes to create a portrait of a person, which was fun, and lastly, a shitty co-op minigame that I played a total of once to get all the refined materials for the sword that was given to us. And honestly, this sword could have been an amazing weapon, but they of course fucked it. So to quickly cover it, when the wielder is protected by a shield, it increases their normal attack and charge attack damage by 40%, and those attacks crit rate by 16%. Just an amazing weapon that is worded not how I just told you, because it doesn't mention that a character needs to wield the weapon in the English translation. It just says, well, characters are protected by a shield, which should mean anybody, but it doesn't, and I tested it out, and apparently, yeah, in other translations, it does mention the wielder only, so good job, English translators. Nice. It can be amazing for someone like Ayato or Chlorine if you can field a shielder into the team. Add Kaching in there as well, but it's kind of there. Too bad, it could have been insane. I would have loved to use this with Xingqiu since him and Hutao or Arlecchino and Toma or Zhongli would be insane, but maybe we'll see this in a 5-star version. And that's the main event. Story was and minigames were as well. The combat was harmless, the portrait one was okay, and I hate forced co-op. To minor events then, we have an animal seeking event, an Adventurous Trials rerun, and Exercise Surging Storm, which I hoped was a combat event, but oh boy was I in for a surprise. Just to mention, I don't watch the streams anymore. I mean, I follow leaks, so I know what's coming, I just check if they showed anything very surprising. So I wouldn't know from the stream if they said, if they showed what kind of event this was. But the animal event was boring, honestly. You use the gadget to see from the animal's POV and then find it and then repeat again and again and again and again, which was again just ends up being boring after, I don't know, the first time. Adventurous Trials was okay. And now that we have characters with actual nice movement abilities, these trials are doable without weird compromises like Ayaka or Sayu on top of water. And they fucking dared put Risley in one of these trials. The 5.4 rerun leaks better be fucking true. Okay. And lastly was the Surging Storm event, which was Super Autopets. If you don't know about Super Autopets, it's an auto battler where you gather animals, or units in Genshin's case, and they automatically attack each other, and they each have special effects. And that was the event. It was PvP, but not exactly, just like Super Autopets, where you weren't actually fighting another player in real time. You were fighting their team from some point in time. They had like unnecessary weaknesses, like type matchups like in Pokemon, which were very unneeded, honestly. But yeah, you picked units, put them in an order, and they appeared and fought with each other. It was okay, but the AI was horrendous in aiming and targeting, and there were some very busted units, but come on, this is a minor event. Don't expect balance to be a priority. And that's it. I mean, what else do you want me to cover? Watch the Nouvellette review, because they fixed Nouvellette in this version, apparently. I don't know if they fixed them previously, but I just found out in this one. So I'll say that they fixed them in this version. You can use them with a controller and not destroy your arms. So yeah, that's it. The Archon quest again took a small break. We had the interlude to fill in the time, but the big stuff is coming in 5.3 in a week from recording, or New Year's for some reason, because why the hell should we delay the version just a little bit, but throw it out in New Year's? Yeah, new area was extremely boring because it's simply just not Genshin exploration, and events were, main event was meh, very, very meh. Minor events ranged from, okay, I guess, with the Adventurous Trials to, it's fine, I guess, it is what it is with the Surging Storm, and my goodness, this is boring with the finding the animals thing. Yay! So 5.2 was an extremely boring version, honestly, because they just fucked up. Like that, it's simple as that. Like, the new area should have been nice, but we're in Natlan, and we've run out of ideas, so we're just eating people's money. So yeah, that's it. I hope you liked the video. Like it if you liked it. Sub to the channel to help it out. 5.3 is coming up, and they also told us that 6.0 won't be Snezhnaya, because okay, we're gonna get our filler areas that we haven't found out about. So I mean, okay, that's interesting, but delaying Snezhnaya a whole fucking year is gonna be painful. So yeah, 5.3 is next. We're finishing the Archon quest potentially, and we have Lantern Rite. So look forward to that, I guess. I'll see you in another video. Goodbye.